Hey, Rogier. Okay, quick video to go over this proposal with you. And hopefully this video is going to make it easy for you to understand what I'm proposing with your website marketing strategy. And in this video, my goal is to try to clarify some of the strategy points and tactics that we are going to be executing on your website. And hopefully this video will make it easier for you to understand what's happening, because a lot of this stuff is just understanding what we're doing. There is a lot of work that needs to be done, and it's important that you understand everything that's getting done, and that way you can have some clarity on what you are paying for. So in this proposal, it says here, regarding assisting you with an advanced website marketing strategy, below are the points to consider. Now, our typical web strategy, it focuses on 20 hours of work each month. And this is a smart mix of social media tactics, blogs, and conversion optimization, and regular marketing meetings focused on understanding the core needs of the three channels that we identified, the individual Mac owners, the web designers, graphic designers, and we're going to flesh that out more, those complementary businesses, and then the Santa Barbara business owners in general. Now, social media tactics. Social media is a big part of our web marketing strategy. So when you click on that link, you're going to notice a Google Doc, and this is just an example, Rogier, of some of the quality of the work that we will do for you. You can see here that the post, it's very well thought out, and it has high traffic hashtags. It has a call to action, and it has visually appealing graphics for your brand that'll cut through the noise. It's a very noisy marketing landscape out there, and you really want to stand out. Another reason to really spend time on your marketing like this is because it translates in the mind of the consumer to, this must be the quality of their work. In other words, if you're putting out a bunch of kind of second-rate looking graphics and content, then what it translates to in the mind of the consumer is that must be how they run their business, which is not true for a lot of companies, but it's what is conveyed. I think you catch my drift there. So social media, important. Now blogs, here's an example of a blog. What we're doing with the blog is it's some kind of a story. So in this story is, in this case, this is an employment verification company, and in this case we did this little infographic, and it talks about the benefits of I2 Verify for verifying employee information. Okay, then it has a little note, and then this is uploaded as a blog, and then it goes out into their email newsletter, and then it gets repurposed onto their Facebook and their LinkedIn and Google and Twitter, all those places. Okay, so every month, if you're doing this every month, one blog, one email newsletter, one social media promotion, and you are having good content, good graphics, and continuing to stay top of mind every month, then it snowballs and you get more and more of these brand ambassadors on board. Okay, and now this right here, the buyer's journey. So this is an example of the journey that your buyers go through and when they come to decide on you for their networking needs. What we do is we chart all that out, and we set everything up in a way that is very trackable. So when visitors come to your website, we want to be able to see that this group of visitors, they scroll down to 50% or 10% and then 90%, and then these group of visitors, they watch the video, these group of visitors, they went to 5 different pages. These group of visitors, they only went to 1 page, then they bounced. Okay, so if you have that intelligence, then you can segment your users, and you can market to people much more intelligently with your marketing budget, because if you only have a little bit of money to spend, then you want to spend it in the way that is the best way possible. So you want to spend it towards the people that are actually engaging at your website, and not the ones that are just bouncing. Okay. Now, we can measure, when people go to the website, and because of the way that I set up the website with Google Tag Manager, we can actually see where they're clicking, and we can record a conversion. If they clicked on an email link, for example, I can record that as a conversion. Okay, so that's important, because if you spend $500 and then you know that 10 people converted and 10 people clicked on this link, then you know where they came from, and then you can fine-tune your marketing based on that. Okay, if you don't have all that tracking set up, then it's very difficult. It's like you're just shooting in the dark. You don't really know what's happening. And one of the reasons why you need to have a website that's set up correctly is for these thank you pages. Every single form on your website, it needs to have a special thank you page, and that thank you page needs to be registered in Google Analytics, and then that needs to be blocked from the search engines so that no one can get to it except for through that form. Okay, all those things require a website that is properly designed, and trying to fix a website that someone else built is oftentimes more work than just launching with a perfect site that's already been built. Now, Facebook is another aspect here of the conversion. We can actually put the Facebook pixel on your site and track whether someone went to the Facebook fan page and whether they visited your website, which pages they visited, if they spent X amount of minutes on the how to set up the Gmail page. Then we can follow them around the web with advertisements about setting up Gmail. Okay, so it's a really smart way to do that. Now we're going to be targeting people that are in those categories, and Mac Mechanic is one of the biggest competitors that we're going to be looking at. Now, one of the interesting things that we do with your marketing strategy is we look at 5 of your local competitors, and then we also look at 5 of national competitors that are like in New York or Texas, some random place like that. And what we're doing is we're mining for gems. We want to look at those other models and try to pull out the best models, best gems of wisdom from those other websites. Okay, because you don't really want to pull a lot of stuff from your local competitor. It's just not very classy, right? Like if you look at let's see, Mac Mechanic. Okay, so get the help you need from the team you trust. So that's one of their taglines. Trusted Mac experts in Santa Barbara since 1998. So there's all these snippets and stories and symbols that make up your brand. So a symbol, one symbol, is like this little Apple icon is a symbol that is a symbol for Apple's brand. A snippet or a slogan or a tagline is like this, but it's like trusted Mac experts, get the help you need. So all those symbols, snippets, taglines, slogans, however you want to call those, we're going to get a big list of those, and this is called it's called your positioning, brand positioning, right? It's the strategy is to basically do a bunch of this competitor research and pull out all of what the competitors are saying, and then use that as wisdom when you're creating your own, and we create that for you. Okay, so that's positioning your brand. And one other thing that we do is we look at, we actually have this software that can go pull out all of the competitors' posts on Facebook for the past 10 years even, and then we can sort it by the number of likes. So that is extremely powerful. I was so excited to find this, because even most of my own marketing colleagues don't know that this technology exists yet. And it is pretty amazing that you can do this, because you're letting your competitors spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then you're just able to look at what worked for them. So why is it that 42% of the talent pool around the world will be mobile, and globally 2020? For whatever reason, that one got 393 likes for this competitor. Okay, remembering those who fought and died for our country this Memorial Day, 244. So you can see here that starting from a base of success, that when we do this, when we look at the marketplace and we look at the competitors and we see what are the competitors, not only what are they saying, but where are they having success, right? Where is their audience reacting to what they're saying? Because we should start our plan should be started from that point of a success point, right? I'll explain more about that, but essentially we're going to get the best gems from the competitors and make our own from that. Now, at Launch 805, so we have the 3 accelerator plans: 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 10 hours a month, 20 hours a month, 30 hours a month. And generally what this includes is 1 power blog, 1 press release, 1 email newsletter, and then social media marketing: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Now, that is generally what my clients are expecting of me every month, and I use that as kind of a benchmark of what I'm delivering. But it always is the case that I end up delivering way more than this, because the client ends up asking for all this extra stuff that I don't know how to charge for. So it is very much like a relationship business, that I end up doing stuff that, even if I had to sit down and explain it, would cost like $10,000 just to explain it. Okay, so it's one of those things where you have to trust that my knowledge and my strategy and the quality of my work, of what I'm doing, is so far ahead of the competition, which it is, that it's worth the price for you. Okay. Now, generally speaking, I need, for a brand like yours, I need about 20 hours every month spread across my team to be able to, I think, to move you along as fast as you want to be moved along. This can be helpful. That what is the average cost for a web design is typically $3,000 to $15,000 for a web design cost. That's the cost of the website design. Search engine optimization typically is about $1,000 to $5,000 per month, and I got like 7 or 8 proposals a couple of years ago, and that was the average of them. The average of them was about $1,000 to $5,000 from the real web agencies in the U.S. Email newsletter. If you type in email newsletter support, typically it's $500 to $1,000 on Google. At least the people that I found. Social media. There's a lot of social media only companies that are charging $500 average, to do your social media every month. Now, paid ads on Google are typically it's usually a minimum of $500 per month, but that ranges up to $5,000. It depends upon, sometimes a firm will quote you based on the percentage. So they'll say 20% of whatever you spend with Google. You spend $1,000 a month, and I charge $200 to manage those ads, manage the bids, manage your landing pages, and come up with a creative and keep an eye on the competitors, and make sure that you're not wasting money on your ads. That's paid search. Okay, now reputation management, which is relatively new. If you go to reputation.com or something like that, they're charging $300 to $5,000 per month just to do reputation management. Reputation management, it's managing your reviews, getting more reviews, getting more Google reviews, reaching out to your existing customers, getting testimonials. That is in itself has sprung up into its own little service offering by a lot of companies. So what I'm offering is all of that in the accelerator plan. I offer all of this and none of the fluff, but only the most important stuff that works with every single aspect of this, and for 2,000. So if you add all these up, you're likely going to be, if you go separate firms, you're likely going to be somewhere around 5,000 plus. So what I'm saying is, let me handle this for you, and let me do what I perceive to be the most highest and most effective need for tactic for you at this point. Because the other thing to keep in mind here is that these tactic, it needs to go sequentially oftentimes. So in other words, there are so many things that you have to do in a web strategy that if you don't do that, if you can't do a lot of them out of sequence, otherwise it's not effective, right? The strategy is not effective. So being agile, finding a marketing agency that's agile meaning we can adapt, and our skill set is so broad that we can help in multiple areas to get you past these obstacles that are going to stop your strategy from moving forward. Okay, so that's an important point that I talk about down here is the that we are an agile marketing agency, which is I think very important. That your agency that you select is very skilled in all of these areas. Now, this is talking about letting us redesign it. And if I'm looking at your site and I'm thinking that you should let me redesign this, because for me to fix this is going to be more money than it's not that it's just so hard to explain. I don't know why it's so hard, because you just finished this site, and okay, part of it is that the person that is helping you with your web strategy needs to be intimately familiar with the platform that they are using as a tool to market this strategy forward. Okay, so the website that I have created, the website, the all-in-one WordPress that I have created, it has over $20,000 in plugins and opt-in strategy, things that are set up on the website in certain areas very specifically to bring the strategy to success. Now, if you want me to try and recreate all that in your website, I can do it, but almost thinking like, why would I do that? Why wouldn't I just tell you I've already done this and I'll just save you the money, and you just pay me like a couple grand and you can just use what I've already done. That, it seems to me like that would make a lot more sense than me trying to reinvent the wheel on your site, because it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense to go that route. So either way, let me know what you want to do on that. We'll help you with the testimonial slides, your MailChimp opt-in strategy, blog graphics. A lot of the size of your blog graphics, all this is very important. Website questions to ponder. Does the website designer understand mobile friendliness? Is one example. You see here how it has all these mobile friendly issues. So just fixing the mobile friendly stuff on its own is like it becomes not worth it to try and. And by the way, the website is not really, how it looks. It's important, but it's not really. It's important, but it's not really. What's more important is that the the over 200 plus factors in the Google ranking algorithm, and the just having it be user friendly for the audience is really the most important thing. And most people will tell you that they don't really care how it looks. What they care is, can they navigate it easily. And from a marketing perspective, what's most important is that it's a good mousetrap, meaning that it actually gets people to leave their email and or call you, right? Call to actions on the site. Does the web designer understand search engine optimization? Is my website connected to Google Analytics? Is my website connected to Webmaster Tools? Does my website load fast? How streamlined is the publishing process? Can my website be shared socially? Does my website exude helpful content and information about my audience, for my audience? And testimonials that are spread across the website. Okay, and so, all this stuff, the visitor analytics is really the heart and soul of the success of the website. And we use this get clicky, and it actually shows us, every month where that we're having the success with the web strategy. So every month we're going to be fine-tuning and improving your web strategy based on the analytics. So grow your business with the multi-touch online marketing. That's what we're talking about here. It's a multi-pronged approach to your website marketing strategy. So solid website, engaging content, visually appealing graphics, heavy emphasis on testimonials throughout the website, good search engine optimization and schema markup, and all that fun stuff. Now, great online marketing is not about a one-size-fits-all approach. When I say agile, I mean that there's a lot of agencies out there that they only do social media, or they only do, pay-per-click, and what you need, I think, in your position is you need someone that is able to do the whole thing all at once, because, like I said earlier, that there are these obstacles, and the sequence of solving these problems, it needs to happen in a sequence. So get an entire marketing department for the cost of a part-time employee. That's really the essence of why people choose my company, is that I've had other marketing colleagues that say, Taylor, the amount of work that you get done in 1 month is more than I do all year. And I say that in complete honesty. I've got marketing friends that get paid $60,000 to $100,000 per year, and they've told me that they don't do half the stuff that I'm doing for my clients. They say, and because a lot of these marketing consultants, they just sit in and they listen at the company, and they don't know how I'm doing it for $1,000 a month. They don't know how, and the way I'm doing it is because I have these relationships over the last 10 years that I've built, people that I've trained, showed them how to get the cost down so that I can then pass that cost on to my clients. Now, I would also suggest that you register 3 additional domain names, and with a keyword in each domain name. So, for example, Santa Barbara Mac Mechanic, Santa Barbara Mac repairshop.com, something like that, and we can put up what's called a satellite site. Okay, that's a very effective strategy. And let me just show you. Santa Barbara Botox.com. Here's an example. My client is Evolutions Medical Spa, and this is a great spa in Santa Barbara, by the way. It voted like best in Santa Barbara independent award, I think 15 years in a row or something like that. But they're over there on Lower State Street, and I do their website and their web marketing, and you can see here, this is their website, evolutionsmedicalspa.com. But then look at this. I created a satellite site at santabarbarabotox.com. Okay, this is a Q&A style satellite site. And all I did was I just copied over all these frequently asked questions from their website. Okay, and you can see this is just answered by the doctor there. And it's a why are your prices not published online? Okay, and then I put this about Botox, I put a bunch of videos, and I put some testimonials, and then I put these Botox blog, and then it says, and so the whole point of the website is really just to niche out one aspect of their service and then to drive them to the website. Okay, so that's what that means here, these satellite sites. And typically those are about 500 or so. I can, get that done for you. Well, once your website is set up and optimized, then we have established some credibility on your blog. Then we're going to suggest that you move towards a PPC strategy, pay-per-click strategy. The remarketing campaigns is where things really start to get effective in terms of making the phone ring. We can help you with this. Remarketing is where someone goes to your website, and hopefully the website is set up correctly with all of the remarketing codes, Google Analytics, etc., so that we can cookie them, and then we can use Google display campaigns for as little as a couple $100 a month to follow them around the web and show your banner to those people that have already visited your website. So the reason that's so powerful is because it's the repeat marketing and the top of mind, psychologically what's happening is the person thinks that you're everywhere and that you're bigger than you are, but really it's just that you just have your remarketing campaign is set up in a very smart way. One example, the other day, another one of my clients is Scott Topper in town, Scott Topper Productions, and he's a local wedding DJ. And you can see here I set up his site in a way that's very, has call to action. It has a little lead magnet. It has all the services segmented. It exudes that this is a real DJ and someone that is a good choice. Now, whenever someone goes to Scott's website, then there's a cookie put on their computer, and then I'm able to then follow that person around the web, showing Google ads to that person as they go to different websites. Now, the other day, Scott called me and he said, yeah, there was someone at Trader Joe's in Santa Barbara, and they said, Scott said, I saw one of my friends in Trader Joe's, and Scott said, or the guy said, Scott, what are you doing? You are everywhere. He said, everywhere I look on the internet, I see you everywhere. And Scott said, oh, it must be Taylor doing his remarketing stuff. So it's not that Scott is everywhere. It's that I just set up his website in a way that, is able to remarket to his target audience, right? And this remarketing is really, I think, what is the most untapped marketing strategy right now that most people don't really know about, because it is a little bit complicated to set it up. And most people have a website that's all messed up and they can't even figure it out because it's all screwy. But and that's another reason why you need to have a website that is that makes it cost effective for you to set this up in a way that you can do it cost effectively, because a lot of people get discouraged with it because it needs to be easy to set up, and if it's not easy to set up, then it can be a headache. Now, that's one thing that I will do for you. And the monthly ad budget for pay-per-click ads, we charge 20%, and we recommend you spend $1,000. Split that over Google Ads, Facebook, and YouTube. With the YouTube ads, we can actually target your competitors' YouTube channels and show ads only on your competitors' YouTube channels. It's a very good tactic. And also with Google Ads, we can do what's called a custom intent audience, and where Google says, go get a list of 10 of your competitors' websites, and we will create a custom audience based on people that are visiting your competitors' websites, which is fantastic. That is, it's an amazing, amazingly effective way to target your audience. Call tracking, this is important. Being able to know where that these calls are coming from, and I'll talk to you more about call rail. Website visitor tracking, Get Clicky as well as Google Analytics, but we use Get Clicky because it's kind of like a suit and tie version of a free report. I'm sorry, Google Analytics sends these PDF reports that are oftentimes overkill, and most executives, they find that it's too much to handle. They can't wrap their mind around it because it's so technical. But Get Clicky is very easy to see. It shows very most important stuff all in the body of the email. Because another thing is that most executive, we found, they're not going to open up the PDF. So this put it in the body of the email, which makes it very easy to read. Recommend Us page. This is actually one of the core aspects of the entire strategy. Is we make a page on your website that has a keyword rich, has high traffic keywords, and it explains what your core USP is, unique selling proposition, and it provides on a silver platter a way for your marketing partners, referral partners, and the brand ambassadors that are willing to do this. It provides them a copy and paste, super easy, on a silver platter way to recommend you. Email template, boom. Someone wants to recommend you, they just copy this. Most people are so busy with their business day that they barely have time to stop for lunch. So expecting them to refer you, forget it, it's not going to happen unless you do it like this. And you show them, look, this is how easy it is. You just copy and paste it, and then it'll make you look like a superstar. And it also, this is how to recommend on Facebook. Someone wants to endorse you on Facebook. So a lot of this is getting you organized, right? Getting your whole strategy organized. Reputation management is also included. We set up a page that looks like this, which has all of your social website organized on here. So that, like for example, Rosie, every time that she goes and cleans a house, then I tell her to send them, those people, this link, and then they can one click on these right here, and it'll go to the place where they can leave the review. Okay, again, if it's not super easy, then most people are not going to do it. So it needs to be super easy. Now the Facebook, the Facebook is a big part of our online marketing strategy. The stuff that you're putting out, it needs to be educational, it needs to be engaging, and it needs to be entertaining. And you can check out this Cody's Cafe, and you can see what I mean here. Just kind of get an idea. What we're really doing is giving your brand a personality, right? We are making people interested and making you seem very interesting by what you're saying, right? So we're making you have a very unique personality with this branding. One of my other agency is standoutcomic.com, and I don't talk about this much because it's not really a moneymaker for me, but I somehow fell into this niche of helping comedians, and I've got like 30 plus stand-up comics that I've helped with their web strategy. Most of them are broke as a joke, but they all have this huge microphone, and they also barter with me. They send me lots of referrals, and they barter with me for comedy writing. What I found is that comedy writing is, if you can make your target audience laugh, and you come across as someone that is fun to work with, then it is amazing what it does for your brand. It really builds your brand. So we have writers on my staff that will, it'll make you look good with your posts. It'll make people like you. Directory submissions. So we're going to help you get it listed in as many local directories as we can in Santa Barbara, as well as clean up your NAP, which is your name, address, phone number across the web. The number of citations that you have is oftentimes largely what determines your rankings in Google. Citation is a mention of your company name, address, phone number on the web. So it's very important that that name, address, phone number be exactly the same across all of your web properties. For example, you don't want, I wouldn't want to say the search engine pros. I would want to say search engine pros without the, and I wouldn't want to say suite 211, or I would want to say STE. It needs to be exactly the same across all properties, because it needs, that's important. That's what Google says, that they're not going to count it unless it's exactly whatever you put in your Google page actually is what matters. So in here, do you see how this, in the Google page, Santa Barbara computer repair tech or Mac mechanic? So, you know, right here at suite E, you know, this needs to be exactly the same in all the other directory sites. Okay, so that's a lot of work. You got to go through and clean up a lot of that stuff, and I'll help you with that. Email newsletter. Email is still the most effective marketing vehicle for ROI. It's not even close. Email marketing is the highest ROI marketing you can do, because it's literally free to send out an email. Now, getting the emails, getting the opt-in emails is why that you need to do all of this. Why you have a strong web presence, because the single most important objective for a website is to collect the email. 90% of the visitors that go to your website, they check it out and then they leave and they're gone forever. Okay, smart marketer knows that if you can get the email, then you have a client for life that you can market to over and over and over again. Now you've got to play by the rules. You've got to have opt-out link, and you've got to allow people to leave your list if they want to. But coming up with strategies to get people to leave their email is the main thing. So top 10 reasons why that how a hacker can hack into your computer. Download this top 10 PDF right here. Okay, and put that lead magnet on the security page. Okay, on the Gmail page. Here's 5 reasons why most people switch to Google Apps. Download here. Okay, that's called lead magnet. So developing those, each one of those, it can be like one of the monthly strategy, because each month, you know, we're on the hook for doing some kind of a story for you, whether that's a newsletter or a lead magnet. You know, each one of those can be one of those. So, and that gets sent out in your email newsletter. Here is an example. And one thing to take notice of is that this style here, it's mobile friendly. Okay, and you can see here that it touches on all of the unique selling proposition for the restaurant. Gift cards, you know, delicious desserts. We like big buns and we cannot lie. Facebook reviews, like us on Facebook for special offers, discounts, and latest news. Private party venue rentals. We have a full bar. Instagram contest. We're starting the Halloween festivities early this year. Join us at Cody's Cafe. And then right here, this is what's called an optimized author resource box. I'll talk to you about that. Dog-friendly patio. See, all these things, other restaurants in town, when they see this, they're like, oh crap, the competitor is taking all of our business, because they're communicating better to the audience that this is what we do. This is why people come here. This is why we're better. It's really, web branding is the art of differentiating yourself from the competition and communicating on a consistent basis about why it is that you're better. Also, doing stuff like this, employee spotlight, you know, is a great way to get your employees engaged and show appreciation for your employees. Doing little contests like this is also smart. BBQ Fridays, Mediterranean salad. So you get the idea. Newsletter are very important. Keyword research, you know, we get 10,000 keywords into Excel spreadsheet. and we really narrow that down, and we get it down to a set of top 50, and with your help, of course. And then from that top 50, we get down to a set of top 10. And then that top 10, it becomes the focus as we are editorializing for you over the next 6 months to a year. We're going to be really hammering on those words as we are writing your blog posts, writing your social media posts, putting stuff on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on everywhere. It's going to have those words sprinkled all over the website. And then when Google is just looking at your brand as a big pile of keywords. And so you really want to be smart about which keywords that you're talking about your brand around. Competitor research, we talked about this. We're going to go through and look at not only what are the competitors saying, but what are they reacting to? What is their audience reacting to? And then we're going to model our strategy around that. Very smart stuff. And this is just talking about being an agile agency. Being able to shift in real time to address issues that will, if not solved, will stop the forward movement of your growth strategy and diminish your ROI. That's a very important point. Most people, one example that comes to mind is just the passwords, just the logins. As silly as that sounds, the organization of one's logins is oftentimes a kiss of death for a lot of people. I know, just dealing with my own mother as a realtor in Santa Barbara, and when I'm working with her, sometimes, the response is oh, I don't know what the password is for my Facebook. We'll just do it another time. That's what a lot of times that's what happens with business owners is, forget it. I don't know the password. We'll just do it later, right? So no, you don't do it later. You need to be organized, and you need to execute every single month, and like a military style. So otherwise, your competitor is going to swoop up all of your market share. So I tell you, that's the problem with a lot of business owners is they just can't get organized with their. Their password is the very first step. It's not even the work. It's just having the being able to get around that obstacle. So how we're different, no long-term contracts. We're a local firm, so there's local network benefits and local area knowledge that comes with choosing a firm like ours. Because I've been here for so long, I just have all these, local warm network of partners that I'm going to be able to connect you with. And that's going to be in itself something that I can't really charge for, but that it's going to be a great benefit for you because you're just going to get lots of new business from it. Just to remind you that every dollar that you spend with my agency is coming back to you many times over. So it's not like you're spending money. You are investing into the growth of your practice. Keyword focused publishing strategy. So everything we do is connected around that set of target keywords, and as a result, you end up showing up on Google more often than your competitors. Strong track record of success. If you look at our testimonials and read some of the success that others have had with us, I think you'll agree that we have a very strong track record and familiarity with your brand preferences. Working with an agency like myself, oftentimes younger companies don't realize this until later that whether you hire an intern or whether you pay a marketing person, whatever it is, there's going to be this process where you're going to have to train that person on how to understand all of your brand preferences. So what I mean by that is some people, okay, for example, Bert Yost of Yost Appliance, he's Jehovah's Witness. So They don't celebrate any holidays. If I do a happy Halloween post or happy Christmas, whatever, forget it. He's going to kick it back and say, we don't celebrate, we don't recognize. So that's an example. That's a brand preference. Now there's hundreds of those that are little headaches that you're going to have, and not talking about certain things because you don't want to open up the conversation in a certain area with your business, and not saying things that you don't have. So there's many brand preferences. Maybe you have a word in the way that your company is there's a space in between your company name, right? Or something like that. So what I'm saying is that having to retrain someone is oftentimes very much it can be very costly, right? When to keep switching marketing agency or company is oftentimes can kill your business, because it's a huge amount of time to be able to get someone like myself that is totally in sync with the story that you want to tell about your brand in town. And in my one selling point for an agency approach is that, let's say you're a company in Santa Barbara and you hire a $100,000 a year marketing person. Let's say you're Cisco or something like that. And what happens is that person is going to be trained, and then they're going to, after a year or two, they're going to leave, and then they're going to, all that work, all that training is gone, right? So that's a huge loss for the company. Now, in contrast, if you go with an agency like myself, then we don't ever go away, right? We're always here. We're not like, it's not like we might have employees that will come and go, but the brand preferences are going to stay with us. So you don't have to worry about paying for our employee, insurance and a parking spot for us, and worry about that employee then leaving, and then you're lost, you're stuck, right? So mature company realize that this agency approach is a much better way to go, because you end up not having to keep switching and retraining someone about all of your brand preference. So there is an inherent value there with staying with someone over time that is also contributing to the ROI. I hope that makes sense. We don't have a single negative review on Google. I'm very proud of that especially for my kind of a company, which is kind of a black box. Most people don't understand search engine optimization, and it's very technical. And so most people don't know what's going on, and there's a lot of trust involved in this kind of relationship. And I don't have a single negative review, and I've always built my company around over-delivering. And and other companies in town are more focused on the money, which is fine, but I'm more focused on my customer, I think, than the average person. So all-in-one approach, if you look at this little PDF here, this is when I was doing my workshops in Santa Barbara for 5 years, called the SEO workshop. You can look that up on the Meetup, and we had 10 to 20 business owners were showing up every week at the hotel on West Beach called the Eagle Inn, and I would spin this. I have this on a wheel, and I would spin it, and then I would talk for 15 minutes about one aspect of these roles. So what this is a successful website marketing strategy. It requires all these roles, all these different hats. Okay, you need a data entry person, you need an email marketing person, you need a graphic designer, you need a pay-per-click person, you need someone that understands social media, you need someone that understands how to do backlinking and how to develop link partnerships on the web. You need someone that understands SEO coding to make your website compliant with Google. You need a press release person that knows how to interact with journalists and knows how to write press releases that will be effective. You need an SEO writer that knows how to write for search engines, technical writing in a way that gets not so much that gets a Pulitzer Prize or Ernest Hemingway stuff, but that the Google spider will really grab onto and rank you for. The affiliate marketing strategy is another part that's really important. This is kind of after everything else. You want to focus on affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing, when I sold my company to Alan Meckler out in New York for 6 figures when I was 27, I had a music website that I had built over the years, and it got very popular. I was able to sell it, and they flew me out to New York, and I went to dinner with the owner of Jupiter Media, who he later ended up selling his conglomerate of sites for, I think it was like $96 million. Graphics.com, Photos.com, Clipart.com. My site was Loopwise.com, eStockMusic.com is what we changed the name to. But anyways, at the dinner, I asked him what's the secret to your success, and his answer was affiliate marketing. And at the time, I didn't even know what is that. I said, what is affiliate marketing? And he said, affiliate marketing is where you set up a program to give people a little piece of the pie for referring you. Okay, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I know what that is. So affiliate, most people understand what is affiliate marketing, but they don't really understand it and really how to execute on it, meaning that there is a strategy we can come up with that will get brand ambassadors to really start giving you referrals. And what I mean by that is you can offer, a tiered structure to graphic designers or whatever. You say, hey, you're just blindly sending referrals to anyone for your Mac referrals. Why don't you send them to me, and I'll give you a 20% of every sale. And if you send me more than 5 in a month, I'll give you an extra whatever it is. So having an affiliate link, so that it, in the mind of the ambassador, the brand ambassador, that it becomes more real, more of a likely that it's going to be a real payout, because it's very hard to get these people to refer you. And if it comes across as very legit, then, and a lot of that is just having a good communication and looking like you're very professional, then it will work. So there's a way to do that. That's called affiliate marketing. And having all of these roles in place is critical to the success of your web marketing strategy. I use the analogy of the Los Angeles Lakers. To make it to the championships, you need a team that is fully in sync and working on all cylinders. And even then, it's a challenge. So most business owners, they don't understand that the complexity of a web marketing strategy and why that all these roles are needed in order to execute every month on a web marketing strategy. And so that's why I think that we're different, is the all-in-one approach. Whether you go with my firm or with another firm, going with a firm that really understands every role is the big key. Because if you need all of these to work in tandem to have a success. In other words, have a synergy. You don't just want to write a blog and then that's it. You need to write the graphic. You have the graphics for the blog. The blog needs to be uploaded to the website. Then it needs to be coded, and then it needs to be research needs to be done for that blog. It needs to be set up in the email newsletter. It needs to be put on the social media. All these things are all connected. So you can't just do one part of them and expect that you're going to have success. So it's the interplay of those that's a crucial part to understand. Wrapping up here, hopefully you haven't fallen asleep on me, Rogier. Step 1, design a website that captivates, informs, and motivates your target audience to take action. Step 2, develop an annual content publishing plan detailing specific steps to success. And step 3, delegate execution of the plan to a team that delivers a true return on investment. I hope that all makes sense to you. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me and I'll do a follow-up with you. This is also helpful perspective. Some of these quotes down here are pretty eye-opening about 55% of Google search clicks are now generated through mobile devices. 4 out of 5 consumers are now on smartphones. 78% of consumers trust peer recommendations, which points to the importance of getting more testimonials and reputation management. You have 10 seconds to leave an impression on someone before they leave your website. So, having a website that is capturing their intention and exuding all of your unique selling proposition and your differentiation is really the big key there. Most people don't go past the first page of Google, so you got to get on that first page. What was the other one I thought was really... oh, 70% of customers prefer getting to know a company with articles rather than advertisements. So what that speaks to is that the companies that do a lot of blog marketing is very effective. Yeah. Another one that's not on here, I think it was 89% of consumers are now making buying decisions on the web, and the other 11% of people are married people that are not allowed to make decisions on their own. So that was a little comic relief for you. No, the large majority of people are making buying decisions on the web, and it's important that your company gets online and gets ranked. And I would love to be considered for your as your technology arm, and I will work very hard for you. And I'm sure that the money that you spend in this direction is going to come back to you many times over. And I will make sure of that by finding ways to over-deliver. So I hope that helps, and if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for being so patient with everything, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks, Roger.